Airline travel. Hey, it happens every day. And every day, does it go without flaw? No. There are problems that arise. So that brings us to this week's case. It involves some people who were traveling from Chicago to Madrid on an Iberian airliner, and then from Madrid they were supposed to go to Greece. Well, didn't go quite the way they had expected. Left late out of Chicago, got to Madrid 3 hours late. As a result of getting there 3 hours late, they missed their flights going to Greece, and they didn't get where they were going for 24 hours. Needless to say, there were all kinds of hassles that they encountered as a result of that, additional costs, and just a lot of grief. Got back to the United States, and there were a number of people. They were traveling apparently on not a charter per se, but it was a group travel. And they said, you know, we're really ticked off about this whole experience, and we're going to sue for all the inconvenience and for all the costs that we incurred as a result of that 24-hour delay. So they brought claim in federal district court in Illinois. Well, the airlines jumped up and said, oh, wait a second. You know, under the law that exists in the United States, the Airline Deregulation Act, you can't bring claim for a delay in flights. That was part of the deal. When the airlines got deregulated, well, you can't bring claim for delay in flights. These folks said, but wait a second. In Europe, under the EU, European Union, there is a regulation, a statute that allows us to get paid for all the hassles that we've been through. Therefore, we suggest, U.S. judge, that you enforce European law here in Chicago. Airline said, nah, can't do it. You brought the case here, and you can't have another law from another country enforced here in the United States. Well, the case went forward, and interestingly enough, the judge heard it all and said, you know what? Yes, this court sitting in the United States will enforce the law from Europe and will allow you who have been damaged to obtain damages that you couldn't get here in the United States. All right, how does this happen? Well, it happens under what's referred to in the law as choice of law. And that means sometimes when you bring a case in one geographic area, whether it's Chicago, Los Angeles, Poughkeepsie, New York, or wherever else, you might apply the law from another state, and in this instance, apply the law from another country. And that's what the court did here. The court did that and allowed these folks to recover damages for all of the hassles that they incurred, and those damages were awarded pursuant to European law, not United States law, which did not allow for those damages. So what's the lesson learned here? A couple of lessons. One, when you're doing international flights, there are some possible, I'm not saying always, but there are some possible additional guarantees, additional protections that you might possess, particularly if you're flying into Europe. European Union has a lot of laws that protect consumers, and you might be able to use those laws in order to get reimbursed for hassles you have in that flight. The other lesson learned here is a lesson you may not have been aware of, and that is that a court can sometimes enforce the law of another state in its own courtroom or the law of another nation in its own courtroom. It's called choice of law selection. Okay, well, a little bit of a different case here, but we bring you different cases, we bring you all kinds of cases so that you can understand from real cases how the law really works. I'm David Allen.